Winter Palace, Hermitage, one of the peaks of creativity, bright representative of the Russian Baroque Francesco Bartolomeo Frastrelli. The Winter Palace was erected in 1754-1762 by order of the daughter of Peter I, Elizaveta Petrovna. The royal residence, the walls of which remember the 8 crowning owners. Palace interiors are the pages of the Russian Empire and outstanding monuments of architecture and art. The collections of the Hermitage were formed over the course of 3 centuries, and along with the great masterpieces of the West, the valleys of the East were placed in its exposition. The film crew of the project Cultural Heritage of Uzbekistan in the Collections of the World works today in the Hermitage. We are shooting the second film from the Hermitage. In the first, we told you about the ancient pre-Islamic period of development of art, on the art of ancient Khwarezm, Bactria, and Sogd. We told you about the earliest works from the territory of Uzbekistan, which are exhibited in the halls of the Hermitage, about coins and gems, terracotta and bronze plastics. These are miniature copies of the revered gods of Zoroastrian pantheon. The Hermitage collection also contains an outstanding Buddhist monument, Ayertamsky frieze. In 1939, by order of the government of the Republic, it was taken to the Hermitage. And in 1954, the famous painting of Varakhshinsky Palace was brought to the Hermitage, where restoration work began almost immediately. Since during the Arab conquest, the fresco received a significant damage. All these masterpieces of ancient art were included in the video version of the first album dedicated to the Uzbek collections in the Hermitage. And today we're shooting a film about the art of Mavarannakhr. In the collections of this truly encyclopedic museum, there are many unique works of the Islamic period which will be included in the second album, Cultural Heritage of Mavarannakhr, in the State Hermitage Museum. The very history of the formation of the collection, in fact, goes back to the time of Peter the Great. Already at that time, things of the Oriental masters arrived, and there were already unique objects. The collections of Islamic art gathered here at the Hermitage at different times. Old Central Asian silver from the time of Peter I. There is evidence that the future emperor of the Russian Empire, Alexander III, collected the Eastern collections from his trips to Asia. But the main collection was of course collected from the second half of the 19th century. These were receipts from private collections as well as works that Hermitage employees brought from scientific trips and expeditions to Central Asia. These works were created from the 8th to the 15th century. One of the richest collections of this period, a collection of ceramics. The appearance of glazed objects in Mavarannakhr dates back to the medieval period. This rare vase was created in submission to the famous luster vessels of the Middle East. Behind the transparent yellow glaze are the birds following each other. The vase is perfect, both in the form and in the decor. This level of dishes were created in Mavarannakhr since the 11th century. Typical for Mavarannakhr and Eastern Khorasan of 9th to 10th centuries are the dishes with the inscription in Arabic. The epigraphic decor was usually applied in black paint over a white engobe. The researchers assumed that the inscriptions were probably performed not by potters, but by calligraphers working in the workshops. The most interesting thing, of course, is the so-called Samarkand tableware of the Khorasan style, when inscriptions of various contents are made on a white background. These might be hadiths or wishes. They are made with different handwritings, simple kufi, special ceramic kufi. Khwarezm master of 13th to 14th centuries created a bowl with a picture of a bird with widely spread wings. It is obvious that the local master was familiar with the images of Chinese China because the image of the birds goes back to the Chinese applied arts. A decor in the form of medallions arranged in a chain appeared in the ceramics of Mavarannakhr as early as the 10th century. This bowl was discovered in 1948 in the Khwarezm archaeological and ethnographic expedition under the leadership of Sergei Tolstoy at the Shinkhakal settlement. This square continues to be made in the 13th century. What is most interesting is a little later, already in the 14th century, the first majolika made in the same style began to appear. Majolika from dew. We have a collection of the richest, perhaps second only to the museums of Uzbekistan. In the Hermitage collection, there are also majolika specimens from the outstanding architectural monuments of Uzbekistan, the Shahizinda mausoleums in Samarkand. But what's more ancient in this collection are the fragments of a ceramic vessel with an Arabic inscription with the date June 30th, 790. This fragment was found at the site of Paykent, Bukhara region, during the excavation of the Hermitage expedition. One of the earliest accurately dated inscriptions on the territory of Mavarannakhr takes place in the site of ancient settlement Paykent. During the excavation of the house of the doctor, there was an astrakhan, the shard is found, with an inscription mascara on which the exact date was shown. The 10th century is a fragment of kalamdan, a pencil case from Afrasiab. This artifact was acquired by the well-known St. Petersburg collector Samuel Dudin in Samarkand in 1908. Kalamdan is decorated with a clear inscription in Kufi handwriting. It contains hadith. It is said that balance is well-being, as well as the name of the owner, Muhammad Fa'ad. According to the Hermitage documents, it was possible that he was a calligrapher or a letter writer from the Samanid cancelleria. The Arabic inscription with handwritten letters was applied with Nas style on the wide edge of a brass dish. It dates from the 11th century. The 6th to 9th century scenes from the Old Testament are depicted on the bronze cadet from Urgut from the 8th to 9th centuries. In the Hermitage documents on iconography and style, it is referred to as Syrian-Palestinian prose. This censer, like other liturgical objects, could have been brought from Syria to Samarkand districts by missionaries. According to written sources, in the 11th century, Neo-Styrian monasteries continued to exist there. A special group of things has been identified that can be accurately linked with Mavarannakhr, jugs with the inscription Ahmad. Researchers claim that the bronze jug was created in a workshop in the heart of Mavarannakhr, Samarkand. Pear-shaped body with the high spout. Such jugs are known for more than 30, all of them with the inscription Ahmad. And they were found in different areas of Mavarannakhr and even in Xinjiang. They date back to the 11th century. A unique find is a bronze vase with the name of the founder of the Samanid state, Ismail Samani. It is written with the inscription, Stamp of Emir Ismail. The weight is accurate. Very interesting find. Of course, this is a weight with the name of the founder of the Samanid state, Ismail Samani. And there is an inscription branded by Ismail Samani, and that the weight of these weights should be trusted. Such an astonishing inscription. There are unique gold jewelry in the collection of Mavarannakhr. This is the so-called Shahrisab's treasure. Under random circumstances, it was found in 1902 in the Shahrisabz district, the capital of the medieval Kesh. It dates 13th to 14th centuries. According to the researchers, 5 filigree women's ornaments belong to the heritage of the Mongolian elite, the Barlas family, from whom Amir Timur was born. The dawn of Central Asia is the time of the Timurids' rule. There is a unique historical subject in the Central Asian jewelry collection of the Hermitage. The third son of Sahib Kiran Jalaluddin Miran Shah, the ruler of Khorasan, belonged a ring with crystallite. This is indicated by a carved Arabic inscription. The almond-shaped form of the ring was the privilege of the royal persons. An absolutely unique exhibit is stored in the Hermitage from the point of view of historical truth. It is a stone with an Arabic and Uyghur inscription, indicating the victory of the great Amir Timur over the Han of the Golden Arda, Takhtamış. This inscription was made in 1391. Two lines in Arabic are carved on the smooth surface of the stone. In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful, the Lord of Things, the Luminaries of Truth, Vigilant Protector, All-Powerful, and Almighty, Wise Giver of Life and Death. The remaining 8 lines are carved out in Uyghur alphabet in the Chagatai language. This is the date and the description of the battle. Sultan Turan Timur Bey has risen from 300,000 troops for Islam to Han Takhtamış. The stone was found by geologists in the Karsakbai tract. Today, it is the territory of Kazakhstan. An employee of the Hermitage was immediately sent there. Since 1937, this historical artifact is kept in the halls of the Oriental art in the Hermitage. It is unique in the fact that there is an exact date of the crusade, and of course, the historical background itself is very interesting for the construction of history. We had the opportunity to get acquainted with the outstanding works of Mavarannakhr, which are stored in the exposition and funds of the Encyclopedic Museum, which is the Hermitage, thanks to the project Cultural Heritage of Uzbekistan in the collections of the world. Speaking about the project, the director of the Hermitage, academician Mikhail Beatrovsky, said, "The project is simply very important. All projects related to the cultural heritage are important, but how it is made, how it combines international and Uzbek interests, it combines public and international organizations, combines multimedia and books and all this together. This is exemplary. Such projects are very delicate. They require great diplomatic skills, many countries, the historical boundaries of the concept of everything, and I'm very pleased that this is done very well and we have such a serious success with what is presented here." And again, in many forms and books and multimedia and television, and in general, altogether, the Internet is a good example of how to work in such a complex area of cultural heritage, in which we, museum workers and scientists, must turn words of memory into a dialogue of cultures. These masterpieces are evidence of the high level of culture and sophistication of the art of Mavarannakhr. Here in the Hermitage, they cherish the memory of the past of the ancient land of Uzbekistan. This has been the legacy of Uzbekistan in the World Collections project from the Hermitage. Shahnoza Ganiyeva, thank you for your attention.